Now it's recording.
Ooh.
Hey, podcast number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sound a bit quiet. I sound a bit quiet, I think, because I'm a bit tired.
It's a Sunday. End of a Sunday. We've got work tomorrow. We're gonna go back to the hustle and grind, just like everybody.
After the weekend.
It's only natural. Relax.
Yeah. I feel like the last podcast, it was so... the topic was so intriguing, so we were...
It was very intense. I still remember, and
and-
scary and dark.
Mhm. So today, what we're gonna do is... Oh, how do I name
You
it?
found this book online.
Oh yeah, have you got the name? I think
It's
I have.
called Book of Amazing Questions.
Oh, okay, I found it. The Complete Book of Questions by Gary Poole. Conversation starters for any occasion. So just randomly came across this, like looking at stuff online. The Complete Book of Questions, and it has, I believe, 1,000.
You must have a lot of questions. You're looking for books with questions.
1,001 questions. Google's like, this girl keeps Googling questions. Let me just give her the book.
God damn it, take the fucking book and just
Yeah,
leave me
so
alone.
1,001 questions. And there's different categories. So, for example, viewpoints, from the heart, spiritually speaking, light and easy.
Hard hitting.
Blast from the past. So many different sections. So what we decided to do, quickly scroll through the book. Well, scroll because we found it on the internet. And select 3 questions that we will ask each other and discuss. Answer, discuss, debate. Just 3 questions that we found interesting or intriguing or, worth discussing.
Just worth discussing and have a debative vibe to it.
So I have 5, but I'm going to cut it down to 3 somehow. I haven't decided yet. Well, start with the most interesting and then...
Sure. Who's gonna go first? Paper, scissors, rock?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
No, you did it first. Boo! Cheating. Okay.
On 3. Okay, so...
You go first. Loser goes first.
Oh!
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I thought winner goes first. Okay.
Where, really? Is that how it works? What? Where are you from?
Let's see. Okay, so this one... This was question 592. Why are people who win the lottery often unhappier than they were before their win?
So that's a pretty, I think, straightforward questions a lot of us would probably know. Adults who have experienced something like, increase in their salary or, something to do with money. Is whether there is value involved.
But this is like an increase in salary, and winning the lottery is, I think, very different, because lottery, you get the money immediately. Salary, you're just...
Yeah, you've got a point, you're right.
It's an immediate large amount of money that 1 minute you don't have this money, and almost the next minute you have...
So how much is the sum?
Let's say the typical I won 1 million on the lottery. Let's say 1 million.
Typical I won 1 million. So what's the question again?
Okay. Why are people who win the lottery often unhappier than they were before their win?
Oh, so the question is, why are they unhappier after the win?
Yeah.
Whoa, that...
Unhappier after...
I think... Oh, now it makes more sense. I wasn't paying attention. The thing is, I think, for me, personally, if I won a lottery, the person I am today, me 5 years back, I had a really lazy mindset before coming to the UK, and I believed, that everything is just... I just don't need to work for things.
Mm-hmm.
I was entitled to things. But the hard-hitting lesson I learned when I came to UK, on my own journey, on my own path, being on my own, feeding my own self, is that nothing will be given to you. The world owes us nothing, right?
Yeah.
And you have to earn every fucking thing. So there would be times that, you know, I would just like live and like party and do stuff
Mm-hmm.
and just you know do the typical student life stuff people do when they're students. And then I would have like one of my parents send me money,
Yeah.
you know, and then there and now it's completely different. I'm paying my own bills, I'm paying for my food, I'm paying for my travel, everything, and I'm earning every penny.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different feeling. Like back then I remember I was doing so many fun stuff, but the money, the source of income that was given to me, it's like I part of me felt like it wasn't earned after I got it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So did you feel like you weren't deserving of it, or what do you mean?
No, it was
Why do you mention
this
it?
lack of, I don't know, like entitlement to the money. Like, okay, I have this money, not having, you know, responsibility over it, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
spending it here and there blindly, and you know, not being responsible, not doing it for the better intention, but just simply just you know using it. And I think anything in life, if you just use it like that without any meaning, it won't last, and you'll just lose its
Okay,
juice
so,
and taste.
so if you don't earn it, you're less responsible because
It's
you
very
don't know
subjective.
the value.
I don't know. Yeah, that as well.
I guess if you've you done something, you worked really hard for this money, you're gonna appreciate it a lot more than if it was just handed to you.
I would. I don't know
So
about you,
like
y'all
it's-
motherfuckers out there, but I would. That's what
I mean,
I
I
learned.
think most people would.
Would you?
But, of course.
Yeah.
I worked so hard to earn this, so I am going to be smart with it and not waste it. Whereas
Exactly. That's my
if you
point.
win 1 million, you're going to be like, okay, I can afford to do this today. I can afford
Go to the
do
strippers and blow money on them hoes.
this. Yeah, and before you know it, all the money is gone on the hose.
It's gone. Yes.
and
Are
then
you even
what-
allowed to say that? That's funny.
So back to the question we didn't.
We got carried away with the hose.
So why are they unhappier?
So yeah,
After they
I think we both understand, and the viewers and the listeners that are listening, they understand as well, if they can relate, they've experienced it personally, the difference between someone handing you a large sum of money, or you earning it on your own end of the month, getting, you know, or you just earning it in general, the same sum, is gonna have a different effect on the perspective of how you see and look at money and how you want to use it. Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, but why are they unhappier after they win? Let's say before you won, you're really young, like 18. You only just can play the lottery.
You're just buying
And then-
everything, right? If you have that much money, you just want money.
So why are they
You're just
less
buying
happy,
everything.
less
You're
happy?
trying to buy experiences that you experience, and things are, you know, that's one of the things in life that you can't be bought. The other day I was reading this I just read this saying, like, anything in I forgot the author's name, anything in life that we own or possess at this moment can be taken away from us, can be snatched away, except what? Except our own personal experiences that we are experiencing every minute, every second, every day of our journey. So, I mean, based on that, like, you know, if you win a large, let's say you win a large amount
Let's say you win a
sum of money,
million.
yeah. I mean, you're just constantly. If I win it, right, as a human being, like if I had $1 million with me right now, I just won it, like from fucking like the gambling store across the street, like down there. Like I would just like probably just waste it on like unnecessary things, you know, like buy sneakers and like.
But then where's the unhappiness?
So basically, I'm getting all these
Less-
luxurious stuff
Mm-hmm.
without. See, I believe there's a rule in life. It's called 20/20 rule, right? For everything to be enjoyed, or for everything to be felt at its full emotion, of its full extent, we need to experience and do the opposite of what that is. So, for example, for us as human beings to enjoy life, to enjoy the luxuries, the leisure, whatever, however one might say that French word, of in life, you have to experience the opposite side, which is not having anything, which is having to fucking earn that money. But if you try to buy it and you just buy it like that, you're instantly, what you're doing is you're messing up the dynamic of this 2020 general world rule, the universal rule, right? And it's just like you're cutting out the luxury. I mean, you're just cutting out the hard work.
But then you had it
and you're
before
putting
you had the
putting
money.
the
No?
but how do you define how much of that luxury can be compared to the amount of hard work you've done in your life?
Well, you
Is there anyone who works that hard that they can earn $1 million in a go? Like they deserve it? I don't think so.
Not in
Yeah,
an
exactly.
instant, no.
So like then you're trying to, you know what, as I was saying, buy like all the experiences in life with that money that you just like won, not even earned, per to say. You're just gonna try to buy experiences, and obviously you're not experiencing life at its full form, whether be it good or bad, not having money or having money, whatever it is. You're just buying the experience, trying to buy it at least, and you're not gonna feel the full luxury of it for a long term because you're buying you just won this lottery. Instantly you're what you're doing is like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna keep buying stuff until, you know, I don't have that money, and then I'm just like, I just bought the experience. Like how do you even, am I making sense? Like, I bought the experience, and then I'm like, you know what, I you just get bored of it, I think. You know what I mean? It's like because you try all the highest things that you're not meant to try maybe in your path, but you just got lucky. And then you're trying all these things that you're not even ready for as a person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then like you're not ready for it and you try it and you're like, oh shit, like this is not what I really expected, you know?
Definitely.
You skip such a long phase of experiences and you jump to a, yeah.
So I think before you had that huge amount of money, let's say the million that we're talking about, you might have never considered, oh, I'm going to go, I don't know, visit a country that you've never been before. Let's say you come from the US and like traveling to Europe is really expensive, and going somewhere, I don't know, let's say Geneva, Switzerland, and you thought you would never experience that, and so you didn't really take interest. And then all of a sudden everything is open to you and you travel to these places, and because it's so, I don't know, like you're unprepared or you don't even have the time to get excited to, like you would maybe save or plan, or you just, it's spontaneous. You go to these places spontaneously, do these things spontaneously without having the time to mentally prepare, look forward to it, dream, and then achieve something. It's just so readily available that where's the excitement? Where's the, I don't know, it's just everything becomes
I think
too
that's
easy.
just like with everything in life. If you're getting constant happiness or constant certain pattern, you know, automatically as biologically human beings we recognize it and we're like, oh, I've seen this pattern before, you know. It's I just want something different. I need drama in my life. I need you know, emotional high.
Yeah.
So that's why some people like gambling and winning money and not working for it, and then they're unhappy as fuck.
Also, there's, with money, I think you'd get so excited about all the opportunities that you now have. You would do all these things very quickly, and not for everyone, but I think many people impulsively buy this, like, oh, I've always wanted this, buy this, go there. And then by the end of it, when you've done everything that you've up to this point in your life wanted, then you're like, whoa, what do I do now? Like,
I guess so.
I've just done all of these things that normally without this
if you're
money,
old,
probably
you're scared
would
of
have
dying.
taken years.
I'm gonna die. I didn't reproduce. Didn't
Then you
settle.
experience everything so.
I only have money.
And then what do?
You bring the money in your coffin. Ask the people to bury you with the money.
Exactly. And
so you can enjoy it. Enjoy it in the afterlife.
Yeah.
That's what I'm planning, aren't you?
Isn't that what everyone's planning? I thought
it seems like it. How stupid are we then if we're planning that? People, the humanity, the fucking race, so fucking stupid. Chasing money and pussy. So, my turn?
Yeah, you.
Alright.
One of your questions.
One of my questions from the awesome book of questions, right? Or whatever it's called.
The complete book of
Book
questions.
of questions, yeah. Awesome book as well. I like it, that's why.
So,
How do you heal a broken heart?
oh my god.
This is such. I've wanted to ask questions like this, like before seeing this question in this book. I had this urge to ask you, or like any woman, like what? How does somebody I know, like like they're intelligent enough to answer it, but I just got carried away with so many other important and fun stuff. But now finally, thanks to this book, I can ask you. You seem like a person who would know quite a bit of interesting stuff about this topic.
How do you
Share
heal
with us.
a broken heart?
Mademoiselle.
First of all, I don't think there's any guideline or rule or tutorial. How to heal your heart for dummies, chapter 1.
No, nothing personal, of course.
Yeah.
We're talking in general. It's just a generalized question, right? You don't have to share your personal experience. I don't have to. It's just generalization of what you think.
Number 1 is like, how do you define a broken heart? How... That's really...
Like, okay, for me, when I read that question, what comes into my mind is a broken-hearted person who is just miserable. Yeah. He's just horrible, or she's just horrible. He or she, because of a failed relationship of uncompleted love. What image comes into your head when you think of somebody with a broken heart?
People's views and perspectives are different. So someone might meet somebody and spend a month with them and be like really connected, and then all of a sudden something happens and one person is no longer interested, and because they haven't experienced like maybe a true connection before, like really what it's like to invest, they might think this is the end of the world, my heart is broken. And then you can't compare that with the heartbreak of someone who, I don't know, they've spent so much time together and did things together, invested, built things, and then that gets broken down, torn apart. So those two heartbreaks are really different. One you can, recover from.
I like it how you categorize it into two different sections. That's
no,
amazing.
there's more. I'm just
Oh yeah, there's more?
Of course.
Like,
every heartbreak is different. Every single
that's
one.
true.
So,
yeah.
I mean, there's millions.
Probably.
But I'm just comparing.
Or maybe there's this, just thing called heartbreak where people just mourn. No matter how good of a fucking, worst or good relationship they had, they're just scared. We're just scared little creatures of being alone and lonely and left alone in the corner, with our little blankie crying over the smell of the person that we miss, or like some corny ass shit like, oh, this song's playing, it was our song, turn it off, Joey. Some shit like that. It's just a sentimental load of brainwashing, I think. But
brainwashing? Who's brainwashing?
It's just in our.
It's how you feel.
Yeah, but then it's coming from a place of not being abundant, right? If let's just put it to this, right? If a guy or a woman are more abundant than men in general in our society, right? In this civilized so-called society, and this is how it's structured. Women have to work less on their looks. Have to work less on their personality compared to their looks. Why? Because us as men, we naturally give attention to a better looking woman than a woman with a personality, because that's how men biologically work. But then there are people, exceptionals, who look at both, or some person would prefer. That's where there's
an exception to
there's coincidences where you see a ugly fucking guy with like this beautiful.
But what is
woman.
Ugly? Everyone sees it differently.
No, what? How can you say that? There's always ugly people out there, and there's good looking people. Like when I see a person who's attractive physically, I can tell the difference from a non-attractive person. This is what I actually mean. I'm not labeling everybody out there. You are all fucking ugly. Get a fucking face mask or a fucking lip surgery like those Jenners.
But it's definitely, like, you view it differently. Like, we discussed before celebrities, and you were like, she's so hot. I was like, oh my god, she's fucking ugly. So that's what I mean. How can you say
Maybe.
an
Oh,
ugly
that's
person?
again. There is a different. That's a completely different thing. I'm talking about the biological, automated response of a man towards women, not women towards women. That's what
Okay,
you just
so
explained.
you're saying you see an ugly guy with a beautiful woman.
Well, in general, like somebody who has the basic intelligence of differentiating what's good looking and what's ugly. When they see somebody who's not so attractive with somebody really attractive, that you probably first image comes in your head, this person is like a supermodel or is on TV or whatever. They're famous, right?
Okay, so a stereotypically attractive and stereotypically unattractive.
That is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody could, who has their basic brain functions working, they can tell the difference, right? And the question arises in your head, hey, wait a second, how can this ugly motherfucker be with this gorgeous, amazing, like, goddess of a creature, right? And we have seen that in if you look in society. How does that work? Because we as men, we are stupid many times. We are very, 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 it's just irrational, right? But this is in our system. We can't do shit about it. Of course, you can train yourself to be more abundant and look for women who are offering the value of looks and personality, right? And of course, the question arises automatically. Hey, wait! You're putting all these labels on women. What type of requirements are there for a man to get such a woman? Well, a man needs to fucking work his ass off, be on his purpose, know what he wants, know where his boat is going. So the woman, when comes abroad, his boat, his ship, whatever, he can lead both of them into an adventurous, remembering, like, it seems like never-ending, like, romance of an adventure, whatever you might call it. So, that's just a few of those things that are related, that can be related to with the topic what we were talking about earlier, which is how society differentiates. They put the role of men and women, and it's like, oh, I'm never gonna find somebody as good looking as that person again. Oh my! Instead of fucking putting the fuck the looks, like, the personality is more important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, motherfucker, are you gonna find somebody that loved you as well as her or him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of good looking people out there, like, but most of them, I don't know. Yeah. Well, what's your take on this? Like, am I making sense right here?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the broken heart. The question.
Yeah. So, yeah. Continue.
So, how to heal a broken heart?
Yeah. Back to that.
I mean, as I say, it depends. I think how severe your heartbreak is, how it ended. But it's really important not to lose sight of yourself and who you are and what you enjoy and what makes you happy, because even if you're with someone for a really long time and you're really happy with them, surely there's things outside of that you're still happy about yourself that doesn't involve that person. So I think you need to find those things and
so you're saying, like, you need to rediscover yourself.
Yeah.
After the breakup, after the heartbreak.
I mean, you might be already really in touch with yourself anyway. You might enjoy being on your own, but I think still when that person leaves, like once you're apart after a long time,
yeah,
then you kind of have to reevaluate things because they're no longer there. They were probably with you 50% of your time that you spent, like your time being awake or asleep or whatever, even more than that for some people. Especially like if you live together. Yeah, especially if you live together, like you're always together every single day.
How do people even do that? Like, I'm like turning 28 soon. For me, it's still so bizarre. Like, how can you live in the same house, like, together, and then, like, like, not get annoyed of each other and, like, not just want to beat the shit out of each other and, like, break stuff and argue?
I guess some people do. Some people enjoy it. Some people want to break shit.
Wow.
And they do. So, yeah, I think just rediscovering yourself, that will probably loving yourself, that should help mend your heart because, you're you're loving yourself internally, then you can express that love externally. It doesn't have to be with a romantic partner, family, friends. I think family is so important. And
Could it be with a pet?
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it makes more sense.
If you have pets,
I know a couple, a person or two with pets that are recovering.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that definitely helps because animals, they're just so pure, unaffected by all this stuff. They don't have heartbreak in their world. They don't really have, well, I mean, sometimes you can argue cheating.
So guys,
Some
if you
animals
see,
choose a partner.
if you find out your neighbor or is a cat lady, and she's young
Ask her.
and attractive, that means she's just been heartbroken and she's single, look ready to mingle.
Oh, okay.
So take your chance.
Is that how it works?
Help her mend her heart.
So
Be a man.
But family too, family definitely. And for those who don't have family, then, I mean, biological, next best thing, friends. It's good to be alone and spend time on your own and just love yourself, nurture yourself, do things that you enjoy doing. And I think that's the beginning of the healing process.
Definitely. I couldn't have expressed that any better. And would you like to move on to your question?
Yeah, oh my god, now I have to choose the second one.
If you guys have, based on our last question that I asked, how do you heal a broken heart? If you have any recommendations or personal own experience or suggestions or your own story that you've experienced healing, you mended from a broken heart, make sure you do share it in the comments section.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be personal, like what I just said about family or spending time on your own. It doesn't have to be like, I did this is what happened, and
well, if that's even better. Bravo for you.
Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't have to be, but if they want to.
Yep. There's a lot of people out there who love to express and expose their personal life.
Yeah.
For attention.
Earlier I was reading some YouTube comments, and underneath just a song, a piano song, this guy had commented this whole story from his life, paragraph, I had to scroll to read it about.
Did you read the whole thing?
No, I didn't read the whole thing.
So what was it about? What was this long ass? It sounds like a broken-hearted guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was like, oh, every time I listen to this, I remember my first love. She was 15. He was 16, 17.
That's monkey love. Is that even real love? That's like teen love.
Well, this is.
How old is this guy? Is he still a teen?
No, 26.
Fucking old. You should be fucking marrying with kids.
No, he is.
Still reminiscing.
He is. Yeah,
and he's still thinking about his ex. Teenage ex.
Not ex. Nothing ever happened between.
So what's the story? Why is he writing long as paragraphs under a song on YouTube?
So when they were young, she got on the school bus, her first day of school. And he was saying he just fell in love with her every time he heard her speak, and because they went to the same school, so maybe they went to the same social gatherings, parties, or he would just see her in school, just the way she spoke, and he was just describing her golden locks of hair and her vivid green eyes and her smile, her tender voice. He's like, I've never heard anything like it. And he was saying a few years later he met up with some friends.
She sounds attractive.
What, hair and eyes?
The description, the way, according to how you described this so-called.
So he was saying a few years later he had a gathering with his friends, and they mentioned her, and because nothing ever happened between them, because he described himself as nerdy and no one was interested in him. He had the best grades in his class, and
ouch,
not very social. So the friends, his old classmates who he met up with years later after, finishing the school, they were like, oh, remember the girl, her name was Mary or something. They were like, oh, remember Mary? And he was like, I couldn't breathe for a second. He didn't really...
Who couldn't breathe, him?
Yeah, he was like, couldn't breathe for a second. It just I don't know, he just felt
Did he have breathing problems from missing her?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Clearly.
Love is a destructive force.
And then he was saying, oh, not forgotten about her, but he didn't give it much thought. And then he's like, oh, it all came rushing back, the memories, the feelings. And then they said, oh, by the way, you know, like, they were like, oh, I don't know if you knew, but people were saying that she liked you. Or she told one of them or something like that. And he found out, this is like, it sounds like a movie or something. He found out that actually she liked him. And the whole time he didn't make a move because he was convinced that she had no interest. And then he found out she was with someone for like 3 years, like relationship, that she was really happy. And then he was just saying, oh, I'm really happy for her that things turned out like...
How
really
adorable. That sounds like a movie, this guy's life. I mean, like, that is amazing. But I think this guy is still fucking thinking about it and expressing in the comment section, even though he's married and shit.
And
Again,
it's such a long paragraph.
he hasn't recovered, number one. Number two, he is not in abundance, my friends. This guy doesn't love himself, doesn't respect himself enough. Because if he did, this motherfucker would not
He'd
be...
go after what he wants. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. He would go after her and, you know... Because you clearly are still thinking about her. And you know, he's probably with some some girl that, like, fucking shouts at him after he finishes work.
Why?
And, like, you didn't take the fucking trash out. You said it earlier. Keep your word. Some shit like that. Or, like, I need money for my manicure and pedicure. I want to get a liposuction or some shit. Go work your ass off. And then he comes back home and he sees her, like, eating another woman's genitals.
Oh my god.
Right? And then he freaks out.
Oh my god.
He breaks all the furniture and, like, he's like, what the fuck?
What is the story about this man?
And then, this is actually based on something I saw recently on social media, on Instagram.
Oh wow.
One of my friends, actually, I forgot his name, posted this video about this guy walking in. He looked like he was really well off. His house, and there was a hidden camera. It wasn't a prank, right? And he actually left the camera. I think he's well enough off to buy a hidden camera. So
he would post, and he posted this.
Somebody else did, from the hidden camera, right? Yeah. So it's there, and then it's just there, and then he comes back home. So the video starts playing for the part. He walks in on them, and I think the wife was, like, laying down, and she was being, like, like, taken care of by this other lady. They both had slim figures, but he was like blurred, so you couldn't see them naked, and censored. And then the guy walks in, and for like 2 milliseconds, he's like, he just freezes, and all of a sudden he just like starts shouting and throwing stuff around. He's like, "What the fuck? This is what I get for investing." For, I just got off the phone with your dad. He asked us to come over next week. Wow. And this is what you do to me. And, I'm trying my best, level hard. And again, do you remember earlier we talked about how a lot of men, instead of, being on their real purpose or, the thing that they actually enjoy, being on the edge, that makes them happy, they actually misunderstand and confuse themselves by falling for a woman. The typical love romance happens, and then he's because he's not on his purpose, he starts to believe that making this woman in his life, could be his wife, could be his girlfriend, could be his fiance, making her happy is his first priority, main priority. And a lot of you women people listening to this wouldn't understand. Even you yourself, you might be questioning, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Doesn't make sense, right? I know it doesn't make fucking sense. But from a guy's perspective, me being a guy, having 2 nuts and a penis, let me tell you this. If you don't know what your purpose is in life, your woman, she's just there to support you. She's not there to lead you. She's not there to show you. Because when a woman is actually forced to do that, to tell you, hey, Jason, flirt with me more, give me more attention, automatically, don't be like this, don't be a fucking child, like, don't be afraid of socializing. She's actually telling Jason what to do, and in return, neutralizing the attraction between Jason and her, because she's already telling him how to be, and in return, Jason, being a beta male, scared of losing her, starts acting the same way what she asked, but this is what not she means, because she wants him to man up and square up. and be himself with her. But he's not doing that because Jason is afraid of losing her. So he's just being a little softy. A little fucking match she can walk all over and treat him how she wants to. And Jason motherfucker thinks, oh, because he has her, he's engaged, he's married to her, he doesn't need to make an effort anymore. And this is the whole irony, right?
And then Jason's Googling, how do you get over heartbreak?
No, then she fucks this girl.
Yeah, so then
she licks, she gets licked and she licks when Jason is trying to make.
And he's walking in on it.
And Jason is thinking, you're my purpose. I gave you everything.
Yeah.
I forgot about myself as well. I'm trying to make you happy. And this is what you do to me? And then her response is like, Jason, you're not on your purpose. Like, you don't make me, you're not yourself with me. You're not a man who penetrates. Not only physically, but through the bounds and, unconditional love I provide, through the unconditional bullshit shit test I give you. You're not breaking through it and facing me with the gift of your purpose, with your love, and sharing it with me, lifting me up, cuddling me, kissing me, and, expressing yourself. Instead, when I'm giving you bullshit like that, like, oh, give me money, you're not giving me, I'm quarreling with you, instead of ravishing me with your presence and with your love, you're quarreling back with me. You're telling me, Martha, that's such an old name, but Martha, I'm giving you everything and this is what you give me?
Yeah.
Dude.
So he thinks he's giving.
He's giving, but because he made her his main purpose, right? She's the supporting role. For him, if a man is on purpose, if he loses his path, there will be times he'll lose his path. He'll be weak. He'll be beaten. It's not about that. It's about how he gets back up. And if he gets back up with the help of his supporter, which is his woman. Yeah. Okay? Am I making sense? And if his supporter is not helping him back, she's not for him. And if how is she going to help him back if he's not even cutting through her tests that she's giving him to see, Jason, are you a man who I would like to reproduce with, who I would like to, build a tribe with? Are you the man who can protect me, my offsprings, give me resources and all that shit, and in return I'll give you everything. And that is, I think, the essence of true love when we break it down into biology and into nature. But yeah, and heartbreaking, like you said. I've been through that. You've been through that, right? So we all know, and people listening, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced it, right? If you're in your early 20s, late 20s, you have experienced this phase of your life, and it's just, we all know that nothing is forever. Everything is temporary. But like we were talking about this as human beings. We work. We are so easily distracted, and it's easy to make us forget that this life is temporary. Nothing is for granted. Our lover is not for granted. The person we share our bed is not for granted. The money we have, the health that we have, the water that we're drinking, the fucking blood circulation. Anything can shut down at any moment, and it's fucking over. But we forget that, and we take things for granted, and we get hurt. And that is not a smart way of living. I'm sure there is a higher paradigm to live life in a happier way, and I am on my journey to explore. So are you, viewers, so many of you. And I think a thing like mending from a heartbreak, you just have to experience it and learn from it
and get through it.
Yeah, for everyone is different. Right? Your love could be like next level. Your love could be like as fragile as like a fucking leaf, but it still meant something to you, right?
Yeah, if you don't experience these things, if you don't go through it, you can't fully learn about this. You can read about it, hear about it, listen to other people's stories and opinions, but you will never truly understand. You will never really learn unless you experienced it firsthand, if you went through that.
Water break.
Okay, shall I read my second question?
Yeah, go for it. How long have we been recording? 39. Yeah, let's do the second one.
Okay, so what's more important, a healthy mind or a healthy body, and why?
Oh, okay.
I find this one. I actually wasn't going to read this one because, to me, I
What?
cannot.
That's such an interesting
I can't say
question.
what is more between those two. I couldn't say what is more important. I don't think one can be more important than the other. What do you think? I really don't think it can.
What is more important?
Healthy mind or healthy body?
From my experience, I've been in both situations. I'm sure a lot of people have. You have as well. It's very relatable.
What situation?
I've been in a situation where I don't have a healthy body. A phase of not having a healthy body.
Okay.
Physically not being well. You know? I've been in a situations where I've mentally not been well. Not like asylum escapee. Like, you know, some retarded guy who's trying to murder somebody. But more on a scale of, oh, you know, I didn't believe enough in myself. Or, you know, I didn't push myself enough to want something I want, to break out of the limiting beliefs that we create in our heads. So I personally believe that mental health is more important, and the reason is because I think, you know, there's a saying, everything, you know, an egg is hatched from within. So if you try to take a chicken's egg and you crack it from the outside, trying to hatch it from the outside with external forces, it's not gonna hatch. It's not gonna produce what it's meant to produce, right? But a chick is born, a life comes into the same egg when it comes from within, right?
Yeah.
The same rule applies, I believe, for physical healthiness, right? If we have mental health, you know, and it's taken care of. We're taking care of our mental you know, like condition and how we are. We're looking after ourselves, our own self-esteem, the things that we say to ourselves when we're on our own, you know, not when we're around people, because I believe every individual has 3 different personalities, right? One is a personality we share with our loved ones, family members, you know. One with our colleagues and friends, and one only when we're on our own, you know. That includes good people, bad people, people we hate, people we love. So there's always that one self that we know, one part of ourselves that's like, you know, only we know about. So mentally, if you are taking your time to build and, you know, work on your mental state wellness over time, you know, as you grow older, a man, this could be applied to men, women, youngsters, older people, you know, a human being, right? If you're exercising your brain, keeping it healthy, thinking positive thoughts daily, you know, meditating in whatever form it may be, yoga, exercise, you know, like doing anything strenuous to your brain that's making it work. I believe, like, you know, you're gonna be always one step ahead of everybody looking for that happiness. You're automatically gonna be happy, and that happiness from within, when it generates, it's gonna come into your physical being. So automatically, because you are hatching it from within, just like the egg,
So
it's gonna affect your physical.
To have a healthy mind.
Absolutely, that's what I believe, and I explained, you know, I shared with you guys why I think so. What do you think? Why do you think it's why did you say earlier?
Well, okay, I was thinking about it more, and then I was thinking you can have definitely a healthy mind and an unhealthy body, but I think if you have a healthy body, like completely healthy as you can be, to, you know, there's an extent you can't be completely 100% always, but as healthy as you can be, I think it's very likely that you will have a healthy mind also if you have a healthy body, because if you think to eat well and nourish your body and exercise and move, you have to be very motivated mentally. Like, you really do. You have to be motivated. You have to be aware of why you're doing this, and you can't just eat, oh, I'm going to eat this because it's healthy. You need to know, you know, why it's healthy. What does it do to your body? Why are you doing this? That awareness. So I think it's very, very likely that if you have a healthy body, you're going to have you're going to be mentally healthy also.
It seems like we're taking sides. I'm with the mental side, you're with the physical, but, you know,
Only because
it's interesting.
I don't. Okay, I'm not saying that's more important because, as I said earlier, I can't say which one is more. But I really believe with a healthy body, you're likely to have a healthy mind. Definitely, because.
So is it because of like eating well, or just, you know, physically exercising, or
No, I just think people with
waking up on time?
people with healthy. I mean, people with if you're healthy, like your mind, your mental being, then it's a lot easier to have a healthy body. So if you have a healthy body, I see it very unlikely that you will have an unhealthy mind. So, for example, let's say you exercise but you overdo it. Like something in your mind there is
Really?
not.
But for me, I thought exercise was always good.
No,
Like,
overdo
you
it
can
as
overdo it?
in, of course, like anorexic people who exercise day
How
and
can they
night.
ever exercise? Do they? They
They
only
do,
have
yes,
like
they do.
bones. Really?
They do.
What type of
like
exercise
day
is
and night.
like?
Like some of them exercise 8 hours a day. Like just
What the
wake
fuck
up.
do they do? Like the exercise?
Like just constant.
Boys and girls, today the exercise is we don't eat anything.
Okay, it's anything that makes your heart rate speed up. That's exercise. So for them, it's I think.
No, for
it's
anorexic
really
people, it's like today you don't eat anything. That's your exercise. You got it now. Wow, wow, wow. Anyways,
Okay,
so yeah, that was a quick one. I think people got the answer
okay,
for that question.
Question number
4 for me. Because you did 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so it's your second one.
Yeah, it's my second one. Right? So
we'll just do 2 each.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the last question is, what's unforgivable?
So the 3 unforgivable curses. No, I'm joking.
Wow, this is what I expected from you. Like absolutely that.
The Cruciatus curse. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Well, so speaking in Muggle terms, what is unforgivable?
In human, mud blood terms.
I would really need to think about that one. That's really hard to just say. To just come up with something.
For me,
taking someone's life, I think, is unforgivable. Who gives you the right to take someone's life? Definitely, that's one. If you had nothing to do with that person being here, I'm not saying parents, you can kill your children. You created them, you can, get rid of. No, I think.
Bad advice. Alert.
Taking someone's life, that's definitely unforgivable. I don't care the circumstances. I really don't care. It's unforgivable.
So that's like the ultimate unforgivable thing. Like
Not
why don't we generalize it more? Like something dial it down to something unforgivable that anyone can relate to that they're listening to. For example, like in day-to-day life, like not murder, because that happens maybe 1 in 10,000 or something.
That's because I believe most day-to-day things are forgivable.
Oh really? So
most.
How about a person?
I'm thinking.
In a relationship, the woman, I don't know, she just decides she's not happy, and she just decides to do it with another guy, and the guy she's with is really invested, and he never finds out. But then, is that forgivable only when he finds out, or unforgivable? I mean, unforgivable when he finds out, but forgivable when he doesn't find out.
Well, if he doesn't know, then he can't forgive or unforgive. There's no.
There you go. That is the thing. It's like
he doesn't have.
The question comes from within you. Do you think it's the right thing to do for it to be forgivable and unforgivable? That is the question. It's not somebody forgiving, because if somebody decides to not forgive, then they just don't forgive you. They're lost. Things still happen.
Well, I think we all have awareness of our actions, and if at that moment you're aware of what you're doing, your brain is working, you're aware as you would be aware in any other situation, then it shouldn't be forgiven, but most people do, so.
Most people that are weak-willed, or they don't have any other options, or... I'm just asking.
It depends on the situation.
I'm just like spitballing here.
I guess it really depends on the situation.
And the question remains.
It could be so many different scenarios. I mean, it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to even think about. I don't know. It's like you were saying earlier, if the woman isn't like pleasing him, then just like go and. That's why it happens.
So what? What? I didn't get that.
As you were saying earlier, in some situations, if the man is like bored and he's not experiencing something with his woman, then he'll go and look somewhere else. So there's like a reason. There will be a reason.
That reason could be for both sides.
Yeah.
They both can have reasons, yeah.
Yeah, people, like in general. But I don't think having a reason makes it forgivable.
But in that state, when somebody's like, they're just confused and they're lonely and they feel, let's say somebody who found out they just got cheated on. Or they didn't find out, even worse. Let's make it a more critical scenario, right? Hard-hitting scenario. Where the man, he doesn't find out. But then he feels her distancing from him, right? He feels that she's distant from him. She doesn't engage with him as much as before. She's not making an effort. She's just, not even fucking doing the basics of so-called relationship that they have. So what is this guy supposed to do then? I mean, he gets tired of jerking off.
Duh.
Then
they're not meant to be together. Their paths are not.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People don't understand, right? Like.
They don't understand that they should leave?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean?
Yep. They spend years and years and months until it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, and then it's another thing doing it, especially when you're used to being with someone. You might know deep inside this is not working out, but then you just don't.
Do you think people actually know that from the beginning, or it just shows up like a wild Pokemon?
Obviously, it doesn't just randomly appear out of nowhere. There's something has to lead to it. I think it builds to it. One day you can't just wake up or have a realization that this is not good. This is not going to work. Why would that? How can that happen out of nowhere? Some events or behaviors or feelings must lead to that.
Absolutely.
Something to trigger it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now it makes more sense.
So, what do you think is unforgivable?
For me, a person who's not true to themselves is very unforgivable, because that unforgivableness being of, that you're not true to yourself, you don't even know what is right and wrong anymore. And then it's very easy for you to just pass it on and do it to somebody else. And, do some of the same unforgiving shit you've been doing on your own. You just do it on somebody else because, your right and your wrong is not like,
So if you're not true to yourself, does that mean you would not forgive yourself because that's unforgivable?
No. What I'm trying to say is that if a person is, let's just say they're not true to their intentions.
So someone, not yourself, someone.
Yeah, they're pretending.
That you know.
Yeah. For example.
So you don't forgive them.
And then in return, because they are not true to themselves, they are not aware that it's an unforgivable act. Because if you're not true to yourself in this short fucking motherfucking life, then what the fuck are you doing? Pretending be in somebody else's skin, listening to somebody else's orders, pretending you're somebody else because you just want some validation from people, some, like, people to laugh at you or, like, be pleased with you, And then you're just pretending, and then all of a sudden, when you're on your own, you're like, oh shit, like, I'm just a sad, lonely person, I'm not that person that people actually like. And so many people have these phases that they have like this two-faced side where they, you know, take on this other life. And there's this movie based on that, actually. It's a very famous movie with the actor, what's his name? He's from Batman, the last Batman, the one before. Brandon Fraser, maybe, I think. Was he? No. Anyways, Christian Bale. You know Christian Bale? Yeah, Christian Bale. He was one of the Batman actors. So he made a movie in 1997. You can Google it. It's called American Psycho. And this movie was based on this rich CEO type of guy who, you know, who did something at some point, and he couldn't forgive himself, right? I think he lied as a child or something to his parent, and he couldn't forgive himself, and in return he inherited his parents' wealth, everything, and he was fucking rich. He was so bored with life. He started having fantasies of killing his colleagues and like killing all these people. No, because he was unforgivable. So if somebody would do something little to him, that would make him unhappy.
He didn't forgive people.
Yeah, because he didn't forgive himself from the beginning. Yeah, because he didn't forgive himself first. He always kept beating himself up. Like, you look in the mirror, like, cry. So it's just like a little, you know, parasite.
So the anger spread. What, from being angry with himself for not forgiving?
Yeah, like not forgiving. You're not, you know. And things like that is unforgivable because that person who's not unforgivable to themselves, they're not forgiving their little mistakes they made 10 years, 15 years ago. They're not letting go of the fucking past. They bring it on into a relationship, if they're having a relationship, into a marriage, into, you know, their children's lives, you know? And we can see a lot of couples, relationships, people, you know, they're carrying this burden. And when the other person makes a mistake and they're like, oh, it's over, I'm packing my bags.
Oh, wait, what was that
La
phrase?
La Land.
Wait, what was that phrase? It's over.
It's over.
It's over. So many people just
blurt it out.
Yeah, something small in the relationship might happen that just like pisses them off. Or even if it's something, let's say it's happened once before and then it's like, oh, this happened last time I told you, that's it, it's over. And everything you have built up until now, all the experiences, the emotions, the learning with each other, and after one event, just with one phrase, you want to dismiss basically everything, it's over.
Yeah, but the sad thing is most people in reality are like that.
Yeah,
movies are based on like that as well. That's what the Western society culture we live in, so-called, teaches our youngsters. Yeah, like, oh, you know, not to live in harmony. Like, oh, if, you know, it's a form of laziness. Oh, you know, your relationship.
And weakness.
Yeah, of course. They're teaching you to be weak and lazy subconsciously. So the fucking, you know, government, when they increase your fucking income tax and take your medic tax and rob you like half of your income, and you're left with just child support, paying that, and then you're left with fucking buying, what was that, instant mee noodles for the rest of the month, right?
Tesco value.
Yeah, values. 50. How much is it? 20p a pack, right? With seasoned flavorings inside, packed.
And it's like salt and colouring and stuff.
Full of artificial flavorings, right? But tastes so fucking good when you put that hot water in and shove it in the microwave, and it comes out smelling like, you know, gourmet.
At least you have a healthy mind.
Duck gourmet that Felix eats. Yeah, and then, you know, you know, you guys get what I'm saying. And yeah, it's just teaching you shit like that. And then when your relationship is like that, some shit happens.
I hear like women my age all the time in social setting, like, oh, I would never allow him to do that. He did that, no way. I'd be leaving him. And then I'm like, what? And then I don't know.
That's because they're
one kind of behavior, and that's it. They're like, no, that's that person. I'm like, what? So no one can make mistakes? You're done like that. Then you're gonna end up alone. If you can't accept mistakes and help each other, like teach each other, learn from each other, and rather than being angry about the mistake, don't you want to like speak about it and like learn and progress, grow? You just want to give up. So if that your whole time you're giving up and saying it's over,
it's
then
eventually gonna lead to being over, like really over.
Yeah.
So you're giving power. What you're saying is like giving power to whatever that intention you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like because you subconsciously believe because of your weak fucking mind that it's not gonna work. That person's gonna cheat on me. Remember earlier we were talking about this. It's like when you think about I'm paranoid. Who's she texting? Who's that? Who's making her laugh on her phone? What is she doing at work? What is she doing when I'm working? Who is that? Who's this? And you're so fucking paranoid that it creates this such a strong intention. You put your emotions to it, you put your energy to it, your time consuming to it, and then every day you wake up, you think like that, you go to bed like that, and it's just a constant fucking agony and like a fucking torture, right? You're just torturing yourself and eating your life away, and then you create that situation because all your actions lead to that situation happening.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when it happens, you're like, oh my god, I predicted it, I was right. Well, motherfucker, fucking cunt, the whole time you were, imagining it. The power of visualization. And of course it's gonna happen.
At the same time, they will even say things like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe this happened, when this whole time you've been thinking about this and the possibility of this. And then you're still saying, I can't believe this happened, when you've been paranoid about this for like so long and giving it so much.
That's actually true, yeah.
So much, giving the thought.
Who do you
so
think
much
are more like last mini question, slide it in,
yeah.
Related to this topic? Who do you think cheats more, men or women?
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't.
Or who gets more jealous, men or women, in relationships?
I also can't say because
So you don't have an idea about it?
No, because I've met or been with, let's say, been with a person who was very, very jealous, and then been with a person who at least didn't show any jealousy at all. So, and that's, let's say, two males. So how can you say? And then my friends, for example, they have different views on that. So I can't really say. I mean, from experience, I can't really compare who.
What would you prefer, like a guy who's jealous or a guy who's not jealous? Like, for example, like your preference. We're not talking about your personal life here, right?
Yeah. Again, it's so... people say that phrase that is quite well known, that if the person is not jealous, they don't care. But then the other side is like, jealousy is like it eats away, away at you.
It takes over, it's possessive.
Emotion. But I kind of agree with that saying, if the person is not jealous, they don't care. But I think it's phrased incorrectly.
It's limited.
It's phrased incorrectly. It's not that they don't care. I guess it means if they're not jealous, then... I don't know.
Then maybe they must be very healthy. But if you do something, that everyone should be, like, it's outrageous, any human being, stable, like, self-centered, like, confident, normal person, even if they saw it and you did something outrageous, obviously that person will react in jealousy.
I think jealousy is a natural emotion, like it just comes... You can't help it. I don't think you choose to feel that way, like behave in that way.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
I think it's a very immediate emotion. Like you see something, and it's immediately like it fires up inside of you. I don't think
that's when you have to ask yourself, like, why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
It usually, from my understanding of how we work emotionally as human beings, so far, it comes from a place of fear of loss. So, oh my god.
And wanting to possess, which is not...
Yeah.
It's not okay.
It's you can't possess anything. Nobody belongs to nobody. Yeah. Everybody's a free individual. I believe everybody, has the right to leave anytime they want, change their mind, whatever. That's just one of the few freedom of lifestyle that we are allowed to have in the Western society, which is a good thing. I'm always out here talking about our fucked up our society is, but you know, some good things in the Western culture, like freedom of, you know, whatever you feel
Yeah,
you wanna do,
if you
as
treat
long as it's legal.
if you treat your partner like a possession, then I don't know how that can work. How
I think that's a form of manipulation, definitely, because you're coming from a place of selfish, you know.
yeah.
I don't want to lose this person.
Taking.
Yeah. That's one of the things as well I'm learning at the moment. I'm trying not to associate myself with one of my values that I have, number one, with people who take more than they give. Because myself, I'm training myself to give. I'm out here to give, motherfucking give. Give epic experiences, memorable experiences with, you know, all sorts of people, you know, and just try to make this world a better place.
Yeah, and then life will give
As
back
big
to you
as it
without
sounds.
you having to take, or without you having to ask. It
And
will come
believe
in
me, I am experiencing that right now. Life is giving me all the best stuff.
Yeah, without
It's
having
all karma, baby.
to ask, without having
All
to
karma,
take.
babes.
It will come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So be patient, give, stay positive, right?
Yep. And of course, don't be a doormat and give like, oh, somebody's like, you know, making out with somebody in front of you.
And you're like,
It's okay. I'm giving. They're my wife.
Take her away from me.
Share platter. And that's stupid. Don't fucking do that.
Balance.
So.
And taking. Anyway, thanks for listening.
And make sure you comment. Don't be fucking pussies, whether it's positive or negative. Comment, like, dislike, and watch the whole goddamn thing. Like, don't fast forward it. Like, what are you rushing into? What the fuck? Like, you clicked on this maybe because you're a friend, we recommended this to you, or you found out while scrolling through motherfucking YouTube. You found this. Don't fucking, you know, fast forward through it. It's like a fucking movie, you know, just like everything else in life. Enjoy the process. Listen to this shit, learn some new shit, and you know, if you want us to learn something too, comment in the comment section below. Share and yeah, always offer value and stop motherfucking, you know, being a leech.